Alright, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to another YouTube video. This one's going to be a bit different. It's going to be a War Thunder video. And in the gameplay you're going to see in the background, lesson of the day. No matter how hard you try, no matter how good you do, there is always going to be someone on the enemy team with a nuke. So, yeah. Anyways, today's going to be a bit of a discussion video. We're going to talk about Infantry. Because they made a huge announcement the day before April Fool's Day. And they got everyone hyped up for Infantry. And they're testing Infantry, at least the deployment of Infantry with gear and AI in the new April Fool's event that went out yesterday. For those of you who don't know, it's going to be live till the 7th. And what I want to discuss with you, the War Thunder community, what does that look like to you? For me, honestly, I got hyped because I've always wanted some sort of infantry. Maybe like let's say like in Ground RB, right? I want to have like kind of like a makeshift battle going on where like the infantry's like out doing their own thing. You kind of have like little side quests where like you have to go like help out a certain squad or something, just to add to the immersion of like being in a tank, you know, like a tank battle is like infantry running around and stuff. But seeing the trailer, the little teaser or whatever they displayed the day before April Fool's Day, it has me thinking that it's probably gonna be its own game mode when and if they do release it. And a lot of the War Thunder community is really hyped. From what I've seen in the comment sections on Instagram and on YouTube, I think with that announcement, Gaijin has to deliver. So it's got me thinking, man, how would that look like? War Thunder, keeping in mind air, ground, naval, it has points to capture, so there's gonna be points. And is known for its sort of, I don't want to say, no, it's for its realistic aspects as well. Have some sorts of simulator in there. But my question is, how would that work for infantry? Because, you know, infantry has to be its own standalone game mode. People are going to play. Is there going to be infantry arcade? Which I guess that would look like kind of just run and gun, respawn type stuff. How would realistic look like? Realistic, would you have limited spawns? Would it be sort of not like Rainbow where you have like one spawn, but like maybe you have 3 different classes you can spawn in and you have like limited spawns, so like 3 spawns, or maybe like something like Battlefield where tickets bleed or something like that. And if there's infantry simulator, that's obviously going to be one life, but like, how would that look like? How would that play out? And for me, one of the things that I've been thinking about, and I hate to make this comparison, but I mean, it would have to be something similar to like Battlefield. Not like Battlefield, but similar to it. Way more realistic with the tanks and the damage and the planes, if there are planes. And if it's gonna be infantry, is it gonna be like 15v15? Because I believe the engine should be able to handle more players if they want to have an increased player count. We're not gonna say anything like 64 or like 128, none of that stuff, right? But I mean, keeping in mind that War Thunder is known for, once again, planes, tanks, ships. Now you add infantry. Infantry could be the mode where you can implement all those things, you know. And I'm curious to see how that would look like. Like, would they be kind of like where you as an infantry unit, right? You go cap A. Let's say maybe there's like, instead of 3 caps, there's A, B, C. There's 4 points. You know, the infamous D point is back, right? Or there could be like 5 points, 3 or 5 points, something in odd numbers, so you can fight for like tickets and stuff, which is something that War Thunder has done always. Like in this game mode, domination, is it domination? I think that's what it's called. You have to cap points, you bleed tickets, you bleed enemy tickets, stuff like that. How would that look like, you know? For ground realistic, is it going to be like, would there be spawn points? So let's say you're running around, you start off as infantry, everyone starts as infantry. You have vehicles to move around, like jeeps and stuff, to get points. And kills would earn you spawn points to spawn in something else. Or if you go like on a kill streak, maybe you can spawn in on a tank and mess people up. Or how would that work? You know, I'm fascinated by the idea of infantry. And then also like on the ground realistic aspect of things, if they're gonna have infantry, obviously it's going to be AI, because I think having a player controlled piece of infantry, I think what's going to happen is that person's gonna get wrecked. If it's like one person, or if they do like ground, like in ground RB they deploy infantry, if it's gonna be AI, is that AI gonna act much like how the AI acts in the World War event, or like if you're playing Air RB and you're playing what is domination or something, we have to cap the airfields, and there's like infantry units that move in, and if they're left unchecked, they can hold a point and defend it. Was that how it would work? I'm very curious to see how that's gonna work, because right now the way it works in the event, right? If you cap a point, let's say like I cap the B point in World War, the infantry pushes in, they set up, defend it. A tank tries to cap it. An enemy tank comes into B, tries to cap it. They can't cap it, but if they're not taking care of the infantry, someone will throw an anti-tank grenade and disable the track. You know, that's another thing too. How lethal is the infantry going to be? If you choose to implement like AI into ground RB, do you even want that? Do you want ground RB just be tanks, or do you want infantry and tanks? Is there sort of kind of like enlisted where you control a squad? Let's say like if there's a player control, you know how we can spawn in like in ground RB, right? We can spawn in planes and helicopters. Would there be a section of like a squad unit, you know, as a special like call-in, and we get 4 people we can control, obviously like a squad. We move together, different, like, and you can set up a unit like separately, and you don't end, or you don't you're not done with that spawn until the last person on your squad unit like is dead. Or like something like, kind of like enlisted, kind of, where you can customize like your squad and stuff and deploy that into the field and see what's up. Or how would that look like, you know? Very interested in to see what's up with that. I have had fun with the infantry event, the World War I event. It's pretty badass seeing the Zeppelin go out and biplanes and stuff. I played a couple matches yesterday before I went to work, and I had fun. I was using the Mark 1s, got a couple kills with that. I was using the other freaking British destroyer tank, whatever it is. Had fun with that. Saw a Zeppelin. Those things are hard to take out, man. A little biplane. Tried the bomber for the British side, and I had fun with that. I got a couple kills with that too. And my experience was alright. Kind of slow pace, but I mean, it's World War One, you know. I do think, and I will say this about the Mark IIs. I do think the reticle for how you aim the guns needs to be more, how can I put it? They need to move, you should be able to move the reticle left and right, and it'll control like whatever gun you're looking towards, you know, on a tank. Because for me, the way I got kills with my cannons, I had to like shoot them like in third person, and that's kind of hard. Not hard from a distance, it's hard, but it was kind of tricky because I was eyeballing it. It was doable, but it was But what else? And that's pretty much it with that part with World War One. And as far as like how do I see like infantry going down in War Thunder, honestly, I would think of it sort of like Once again, I don't like to make the comparison. Battlefield, because Battlefield is probably the only thing that does it like really good. War Thunder would be, I wouldn't want to say like hyper realistic, because people are saying like, oh my god, we got War Thunder Squad or something, and just to an extent, yeah, I could see it, but not exactly like Squad. At least not the simulator, like the simulator side, yeah, I could see it, but not the the RB, or maybe the arcade battle of things, you know. And the way I see arcade going down would be like, it'd be your typical 3-5 point objectives to cap, with the odd vehicles you can either spawn in with, or maybe you cap a point and it'll allow you to spawn in it'll spawn a certain vehicle, like the point, let's say like the A point spawns an MBT if you're in the modern era, and you go to the B point and it spawns a light tank or something, right? I know there's gonna be gear. How is research gonna work? Are you gonna have to research gear? Like, you're gonna have to research like certain weapons. You start like World War One, and then work your way up to World War II weapons, and work your way up to modern. Because you know, I don't know how it's gonna work, because this game is known for its research. I mean, I don't think you can research infantry. Gear, maybe you could research, but that's gonna be weird. I don't expect gear to be that expensive to research. Or I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that's gonna work, but I do see sort of like 3 or 5 point capture system, spawn points, obviously vehicles. I do see planes and tanks in there, and obviously a little bit of destruction, because that's in, like you just saw here, you can destroy, you can shoot concrete walls and stuff. Very interested, and I'm very curious to see what you all have to say and think, because I've sort of been thinking about since I played it yesterday. Like, I got to work yesterday, and I was thinking about like, how would it work? I like the idea. The maps, what they could do is they can take like a chunk of a map. Let's say like the A point on abandoned factory, the factory could be like a whole map. Well, that A point could be a whole separate map. The C point could be another map. You can call it rail yard or something. You can take bits and pieces of different maps and make them like a map for the infantry rotation, you know. And it'd be very interesting, and yeah, it's pretty much what I've been thinking about. I am, like I said, I've said this before, I am curious to see what you all think about infantry. How do you think that's going to be implemented? I want to know your opinions. I'm curious, because for me, like, the way I see it is sort of like at least the infantry realistic battles, if they divide it into those kind of game modes. I do see it playing out kind of like Battlefield, but like with spawn points, but I really can't say for sure. Infantry arcade, that one to me seems kind of obvious. It would be respawns until your units are like down, if you have multiple units. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you made it this far to the end of the video, leave a like, comment, consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. And with that being said, I will catch you all later. Peace.